You're going
Boy,
in.
I'm glad that I'm going in, but we are here now. We are
Wow.
live. Yeah, I had to
Fantastic.
hit the button. We are
Okay.
live.
Fantastic.
And we are allowing all of these people to flood in and be a part of this great experience, this very tight 30-minute show that we have for everybody, this programming that we have for everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is James O'Hagan. I'm going to be your MC tonight, or whenever you're watching this. Maybe you're watching this late at night. Maybe it's early in the morning. Who knows that we can time shift all over the world. My name is James O'Hagan, and I am your MC for Your Voice is Power. This is our summer school prep PD session. It is a tight 30 minutes. And so we are going to get you into talk about what is Your Voice is Power, talk about the contest, talk about what it is that we hope to impart on you so that you can take this to your students, do this with your students. I have taught Your Voice is Power before, but tonight I am your humble MC, and I am here to introduce to you from British Columbia, out on the West Coast, Victoria Walders. Victoria, thank you for being here. Why don't you take it away?
Well, I am so excited to be here, James, and I'm glad that we can partner together again. This is like I
Again,
feel like we're like an amazing duo here. So, if anyone has any, comments or you're interested in learning more, please reach out to either me or James. You
and
can
if you're
connect
watching
with
on
us.
YouTube, they can put it right in the chat and I'll look at it.
Fantastic.
But
Yes. And that's why
if you're
James is
not
here.
watching this live, if you're not watching this live and you put something in the chat, I probably won't see it. I probably will not answer. So don't get mad if you put this in, 3 weeks in the future and you're asking questions and wondering why isn't somebody responding. I can't respond. So I'm sorry.
Right, and that's good to mention. So if you're here live, then feel free to put some comments. So we are going to do a fast now. It's like I think it's 28 minutes. So we're going to blitz through this, James. I want to mention before we launch into this slide deck that this is an amazing program. We're so excited to have a summer school option for this. Please share with your friends, your colleagues, homeschoolers, maybe even summer groups that are wanting to do some summer learning on coding. We would love to have you join us, and we're going to be doing it.
Libraries, public
Yay!
libraries.
Yes, fantastic. So there's a lot of great groups that you can connect with, and we'd love for you to share the news. So this is Your Voice is Power. I'm going to do a little introduction, and then I'm going to be actually going into some kind of a clip on day 1, day 2, and day 3. But for those that are here, I'm hoping that you will actually have an opportunity to even log in and get set up on account just so that you know what's going to happen with your students. In the coming weeks. So here we go. So I do want to acknowledge that I am on the Kwantlen, Katesy, Semiahmoo, and Matsqui lands. It is the Stolo Salmon River People's land that I am currently on.
And I
Uh,
am, hey, I want to acknowledge mine.
yes, you
Very
should.
quickly, I
Give
am I am right on. I live in Racine, Wisconsin, which is right on Lake Michigan, right between Milwaukee and Chicago. My land is home of the Potawatomi tribe. They are very prevalent in this area. Love them, and my land is part of the Treaty of Chicago land. That's how it was defined. So
mm,
Potawatomi is where I am located.
okay, wow, that's amazing. Now, I am curious. Are they a type of indigenous group that stays stationary, or are they the ones that kind of roam? Okay, because I know the
They
Cree
were ones that
people.
roamed. In, in fact, they lost and they just got back some of their land. They left actually a part of Illinois that they were in and to go visit other groups in like Kansas. And when they came back, their land was taken from them because folks had thought it had been abandoned. Just recently, that land was given back
Oh,
to them, ceded back to them. So anyway.
oh. Okay, well, that's good to know. I just learned something new.
Yeah.
So I do want to apologize, James. You're going to have to just do a little introduction to yourself because I tried to put you in, but for some reason the slide is glitching. So I am Victoria Wolders, and I've been a teacher for 25 years, 22 in the classroom. I currently work for a provincial outreach program. We make digital books for K to 12 students who have perceptual disabilities. And so I'm also a Logix Academy facilitator. James, you want to tell a little bit about you?
I am a doctoral student at Northern Illinois University on my dissertation, about to hopefully be done in the fall, in the field of instructional technology and design, and consulting and working with Logix Academy right here in the United States.
Fantastic. Awesome. Okay, so we want to thank Your Voice is Power and CanCode and Amazon Future Engineer for making these lessons possible, this specific lesson possible. So we're just really excited to be able to partner with them, and you get to learn a little bit about coding today and making some music. So for Your Voice is Power, this series of lessons are for students that are more on the intermediate age. If you're choosing to do this for younger students into primary, there might be areas that might be a little bit complicated, so expect to need more time for explanations. There are some terminology that might be new to them. Okay, so I'm going to assume that our audience right now are more intermediate, middle school, maybe even high school teachers that are interested in this program. Okay, so we always start with day one where we're making beats, learning code, and promoting equity. And we start off by talking about how music can promote racial equity. So we talk about how equity means giving people what they need to succeed rather than treating everyone the same. We talk about specifically in regards to our Canadian heritage about how Indigenous culture has been oppressed for decades, if not centuries, and the importance of being able to do a revitalization of Indigenous voice and Indigenous music. And this is why we do what we're doing right now. So we are going to be working with a platform called EarSketch. EarSketch is specifically a coding platform where there has been basically bits of music and sound clips that Indigenous artists across Canada have donated, have given to EarSketch for children, adults, anyone to make their own music with. So,
And and
yeah,
sorry, is this
yeah,
program was developed in the United States originally at Georgia Tech University. So
yeah.
there are also a prominent and prevalence of African American artists as well in the platform.
Yay, fantastic. Thank you for mentioning that. And so it's just, you can go so many different directions in this lesson. You might even want to choose to do a theme. So, for example, if you're trying to talk about, inclusion, or if you're talking about um, National Indigenous Day. There's so many different themes that are in this that you might want to even just launch into teaching about your voice's power on those days or around those days. And I know for us, we're doing it through the summer, but this is available in the fall and will be available in the winter and the springtime. And I will tell you more about that. So throughout the presentations, there will be little videos and snippets that will go along that will teach the students about why this is important. There will be showcasing of different artists. They will tell a little bit about who they are, how they got into Your Voice's Power, what music means to them. Okay. And we also have a really amazing opportunity for your students to enter a contest. So, whoops, my phone's ringing. So we have this really cool opportunity that will have to, if you choose to go into the contest, you have to make sure you submit by the end
Soon.
of May, right?
Oh, oh,
I
for
thought
next year.
for next year. Yes, for next year. So if you choose to do this, you have to make sure you submit by the end of May, May 31st. And then The winners are announced sometime in June. Now, I don't know, James, do you know the exact date? Because I don't know the exact date. I was just always told just submit by the end of May just to make sure.
I believe it's by June 30th.
Like June 30th.
And I
Okay.
forget that we are. I forget that today is actually the day that we are doing this is the 25th. So if you can really get it done in 5 days, cool. But I don't think that's happening. So
Really
uh,
hard.
yes, for next year, I'll try to get it in earlier rather than later.
Okay, great. So 50 students will win prizes. The top students, 2 students will win $5,000 scholarships or a grant to start a
One is
business.
an indigenous, is my understanding. One is will be an indigenous student who wins, and the other one would be a non-indigenous or First Nation student
Okay.
who wins. And
Okay.
Canada only. So if you're in the United States, sorry, US folks, we have to do something else.
Okay. That's good to know. Okay. So, if you're interested, you're listening to this right now, and you're like, I want to book sessions, you can do that, and you can go to Logix Academy, and you can book there. Do you know the exact website by any chance, James?
I believe if you just email support@logixacademy.com, you can get in through that
Okay.
way.
Awesome. Okay. So, a few things that you need to have for the contest. It needs to be between 30 seconds and 3 minutes. You need to have at least 5 unique sounds, and we're going to get into that today. Have at least one Your Voices Power Indigenous musician sound clip. Okay. And some of those are Ashenabi, Dakota Bear, Duke Redbird, Jaylee Wolf, Samian, Twin Flames. So these are all musicians that have donated sound clips to the back end of Ear Sketch and that you're able to pull to be able to create your own music. Okay. This is what they look like. Here's 6 nationally recognized Indigenous artists have contributed to Your Voice is Power music library. Okay, so definitely, and check these artists out on Spotify and on Apple Music because it's a very powerful thing to be able to enhance and promote and share Indigenous voices, not only in our professional setting, but even our personal setting, maybe at home or with your family. So we have an introduction to Ear Sketch. This Mayuki dryer is specifically one of the winners from the Ear Sketch contest. She created a wonderful composition that advocated for Indigenous voices, and it was absolutely wonderful. Now, I'm going to see if I can try to navigate. Whoops. I'm going to try to see if I can navigate this now, and I'm hoping I can. I ended up sharing it. We'll see. And we'll see if we can listen to her clip. Um,
And you'll notice too, if you ever look at her file as you're pulling the clip up, if you ever look into the file, you'll notice that uh, she is a French-speaking um, uh, student, and so all the code comments are all in French. So don't feel like because maybe you use a different language, even if you're using a First Nation language, you can still use your own, especially in the comments section, so that you can uh, keep track of what is happening in your music files. The
mhm,
coding itself, though, unfortunately, is all in English. The
mhm,
actual code itself.
mhm. Okay. So I am going to share this. We're going to share the tab. Okay. So we're going to listen to a little clip of one of our trainers introducing Mayuki's music. So you have an idea of what sort of creation students are able to make. Okay. So I'm going to play this here.
Oh, you know what? Is it on a different screen?
Okay. Sorry. Say that again.
It
Is
looks
it
like you
working?
had you had a file up on a different screen.
Okay, let's try that again. So we're going to share a screen, see if it works.
Let's take this one
Share.
down.
Okay. Yay. Does it work now? Are we good?
Okay, now you should be able to play it.
Okay. So here we go. We're going to just do a little introduction.
Yuki, she's a grade 10 student, but I want to show you their project to give you an idea what you can start thinking about creating. So we're going to go over here to Mayuki and give you a sneak peek at Ear Sketch. So this is Ear Sketch, and I think Sarah, this might be one of the first times you were seeing Ear Sketch as well. But Ear Sketch, this is a digital audio workstation, but we have a coding section where we can add some code. Mayuki chose to code in French. You can code in French or English. And it looks kind of technical, but by the end of this session, students, you're going to realize, whoa, wait a second, it's actually not that tricky. And let me just show you when we run Mayuki's code. So she has coded all of this. When we go ahead and run this, I want to make sure we play from the beginning. Mayuki has used beats and music from some of those indigenous artists that you just saw in that video, and other artists are in there like Pharrell and Alicia Keys. But Mayuki used those beats to let her voice be heard. So let's go ahead and play this and see what it sounds like.
Doing this work as we can't just pray anymore. Doing this work as we can't just pray anymore. Doing this work as we can't just pray anymore. We must do something, and we need to do it now.
This is so meta.
Almost like it's screaming. All right, well, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but hopefully that gives you an idea.
Okay, we're going to stop sharing right here. And hopefully you were able to hear it. Everything good?
I heard it.
Awesome. Fantastic. Awesome. So I think that gives you a little bit of a snapshot of what we're doing here and what we're trying to create. Okay. So we did this video, and it was a wonderful video where we got to learn a little bit about Mayuki's creation. Okay. So for those that are listening right now, we're going to encourage you, and I know we are going to be crunched for time here, but you want to be able to go to the Ear Sketch website, okay? And what you're going to be doing is you're going to start the coding process. Now, for those that are listening right now, I think it would be best for you to, open up Ear Sketch and then just zoom back in here, because we're going to continue to work through kind of some what day 1, day 2, and day 3 looks like. But if you are listening to this as a recording, put a pause now, okay? And take some time to open up Ear Sketch, okay? And then we're going to go through this, okay? Okay, here we go. So when you open up Ear Sketch, you're going to press the skip button. Okay, you do not want to press start. And the reason is because it may get you into a different kind of screen than if you had pressed skip. Okay, so even when you're working with the students, you want to press skip. Okay, and then you're going to make sure you create and reset an account, create click, or click create. You can tell it's been a long day. Create, click create. Okay, so that's what you want to do. And then what you're going to do is you can add a stage name, you can add your own name, your own professional name. You're going to add a password, you confirm your password, and then you are the teacher. So if you want your own email address as a recovery password, you can do that. Okay, and then you're going to create an account. Okay.
And as a word on that, typically when it comes to, just so you know, later on, students, we do not recommend putting in a student email address. We try to give as little data as possible.
Yes. And part of day 1 is also creating a stage name. So what we do here is we'll encourage students to use a first initial or a first and second initial, depending on how that works. And then they can put their favorite ice cream. They can pick their favorite pet. They can pick their favorite character in a book, like Harry Potter. And so it ends up being a code name. And part of it is also the fact that if they use their initials only, then it still allows for FOIPA compliance, FIPA compliance, privacy compliance. Okay. So we want to make sure we keep your kids safe. Okay. Some of the little pieces also is there's a content manager where you can toggle on and off, which allows you to see the list of different musicians. Okay. And that's something that's going to come in an important part while you click and you add different sounds to your dashboard and code editor. So what's going to happen now, because we're at 4:20, I'm going to just very briefly just talk to you about Ear Sketch Part 1. So if you are choosing to be part of our sessions, which I really hope you do, we will be watching some videos with it. Ear Sketch Part 1, we have another one where we talk about how we code. So we talk about Fit Media and how we add different pieces to the to our code editor. Now, I'm not going to go into this right now because again, this is supposed to be an overview, but we break it down enough for the kids to be able to understand. You have a whole hour to be able to set this up with your students, and it becomes a very exciting opportunity for kids that have never coded before, or even kids that have coded, to be able to create music with their code. Okay. We also have a part 2 where we talk about adding functions. Okay. If your students are familiar with coding language, we will be going into what a function is and little bits of pieces of code. And then once we have created and pulled the different little pieces of music together, little sound clips, then we press run and it combines all the lines together. And then you press the green arrow for play. Okay. And then what happens is, as you saw in the demo video with Mayuki, all the different lines end up coming together and it ends up creating a musical soundtrack, right? So we're not going to listen to an example, but I just wanted to show this to you quickly, where there was a participant in one of the sessions that created something within 5 minutes, and that was demoed. So we'll be showing that to you. And then when we finish off day one means it's going to be starting off. We're going to have the launch. You're going to learn about some lingo on code. You get all accounts. Then we move on to day 2. Okay. Now, day 2, we shift kind of our conversation onto racism, what racism is, and the mistreatment or unfairness towards someone because of their color. Their skin color is called discrimination. So we move forward with talking about different types of racism: structural, institutional, interpersonal. And because of our truth and reconciliation agreement that we have in the country of Canada, this is something that is weaved into most, if not all, curriculum throughout our whole country. And into our schools. So we go into some conversations about how we create different types of genre with our music that we've pulled Indigenous music into. And then we also talk about the importance of how, when we are pulling Indigenous music into our song that we're creating, how this is part about celebrating who they are and celebrating their culture. When we talk about day 3, we are going to move swiftly into talking about a little bit deeper into what lyrics do you want to have in your song that can be powerful and make sense, right? What instruments do you want to have? What beats do you want to have? Okay. We talk about script and how to create a script. This is where we end up getting into a little bit more of the details of creating our published song in order for it to enter the contest, which means that students come up with a title, They put themselves as the author. They do a little description. And so this particular day is focused specifically on kind of getting it set up for success for the contest. Okay. After every single session, we have the opportunity for students to do some more homework. And we have modules that are available for the students to be able to participate in. If you go to Your Voice's Power, you can learn more about some curriculum resources. There's some modules. And, you know, if students want to work at a self-paced you know, if they want to work self-paced program, then they can do that. And we want to make sure that this is accessible to all. So with that being said, that means that you might want to encourage students who are really enjoying or maybe want to learn more to go to Your Voice's Power website and to proceed through the modules, which is something that's really important.
I also think it's realized too that, you know, again, we are available as Logix Academy's facilitators to work with you and your class. And to my knowledge, I don't think we charge a dime, right?
We don't. It's completely free.
Mm-hmm. So
Yes.
if you want to have us as your on attendant helpers, we are here and ready to do that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And we should also note that whether you're on the East Coast or on the West Coast, we will be able to accommodate your schedule. So don't feel like, oh, I have to do it in this little time slot. If it's best for you to do it in the afternoon between 1 and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, then we will be able to accommodate that for you. Just have to ask. So. And then we have the newsletter, and we encourage any of you that are listening right now to sign up for our newsletter. This gives you some latest and greatest tips and information about the contest and all the different things that we are doing with Your Voice's Power. So it looks like we have 3 more minutes left. And I'm wondering, is there any questions or is there any comments or insights that James, you have, or anyone that might have anything on YouTube?
Here's what I will say is, even if let's say you're a teacher who is a little hesitant right now to get started. And again, you can reach out to support@logixacademy.com, and ask us, you know, that you would, you know, say like you want to work with somebody, even if it's just the introductory lesson, even if it's just to get things going. There is a bit of safety in that, or hopefully it will make you feel a little more confident. Yes, it is co-taught, but if you want to learn along with your students, participate along with your students, that is something that we are comfortable with and ready to help you with as well too. If it's something that you say, hey, you know, we want to develop a long-term relationship, we want to do this, you know, once a week, we are ready to do that with you. Frankly, there is nothing I would love more than the opportunity to leave the United States and come up to Canada and have like a culminating project, especially in areas of Canada that I haven't seen, like the territories or, you know, Quebec or gosh, I still want to get back to Nova Scotia and PEI and those areas. So there is nothing I would love more than the opportunity to see those areas of Canada and celebrate the musical achievements of you and your students.
Mm. And this is the thing, is that each of these creations, musical creations, are ended up being unique to the child. And I think
Hmm.
every student will create something that is theirs. And that can be a very powerful thing. Um, when we're talking about kind of low floor, high ceiling activities, this is something that would be very cool. You can have a child that literally makes a 10-second musical clip, or a child that makes a 10-minute musical clip. And so we really encourage you to sign up for the first one, sign up for the series if you want, but we would love to have all of you join us. And I've also worked with classes where there ended up being like 2 classes in a room in a library, and they all learn together. So don't feel like you have to limit it just to your class. If you want to invite more people in, feel free to do that and spread the word.
Oh, one other thing I should add too, and of course now I'm just forgetting what that one additional thing is. I had it and I was like, okay, I'm gonna remember it, and now I'm not remembering it. Um, wow, I just completely blanked on what that one additional thing is. But
Yeah. Well, that's okay because
oh, oh,
remember. Yeah.
one of the things I think that's great about this as well too is especially because we talked briefly about all the different sound clips that are available for us. I think there's like almost 5,000 different sound clips that you can use.
Wow.
You as a student or as a teacher can also bring in your own voice as a clip into this. So don't feel like, when we talk about your voice's power, it isn't just using the clips that are available in the program. Your students can actually bring in their literal own voice into this as well too. So if you do have, I'm thinking about especially middle and high school students. I've worked with many who are very musically inclined, who want to get involved with this, but they can't necessarily play a musical instrument. This is a chance for them to use their voices and impart their voices into their projects as well too.
So true. Yes. No, it's fantastic. And the thing is that right now we want to be able to be celebrating our students, celebrating Indigenous voices. And this is a great opportunity for you to be able to, use this tool to springboard into those great conversations about celebrating students for their creations as well as Indigenous voices. So I hope you all join us.
And with that, I think we are at time. So,
Wonderful.
well, to everybody who has watched, thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of this journey. I hope we were entertaining enough for you. I hope that you learned something. I hope that we get to work with you. We are real people. So if you do reach out to support at Logix Academy, is it oh gosh, I should have checked. Is it .com or .ca? I didn't double check. I'm so used to being an American. I'm sorry. But if you reach out, if you look for Logix Academy on the internet, look for and then email us at support at Logix Academy. One of us or one of our other wonderful colleagues will be sure to be paired up with you and work with you. I love the opportunity of teaching remotely and coming into your classes via live stream. So that's a great way to do it as well too. So thank you everybody for being on. Victoria, thank you for taking us through today. And we look forward to connecting with you sometime in the near future. Cheers, everybody.
Bye, everyone.